To board the plane before we take off? Alrighty. Good afternoon, Ludwigsburg. Welcome to everybody to EclipseCon Europe 2019. For those who don't know me, my name is Mike Milinkovich, and I have the great honor to be the Executive Director of the Eclipse Foundation. And it's my great pleasure to welcome everybody here for, according to Anne, the 14th Eclipse event in the Stuttgart area. We've been had a lot of great memories over the years at this location, and our first one over in Esslingen back in 2006. And I always like to start this event off with a little exercise. So please stand up if you have been to 12 or more EclipseCon Europes. All right, now stay standing. Okay, no, stay standing. All right, so 11, up. No, stay standing. 10, if you've been to 10 or more. Oh, hey, Jan, how's it going? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Awesome. All right, now sit down. All right, now please stand up if this is your very first EclipseCon. And really, it's always nice to recognize the people that are repeat customers, but it's also a lot of fun to recognize the people that are here for their first time. And I say the same thing every year, which is if this is your first EclipseCon, a very warm welcome, and please use this as an opportunity to talk to people and really engage with the community. The wonderful thing about EclipseCon and the Eclipse community is that sense of community that we have here. And it's actually, this event is my favorite week of the year because it's an opportunity to get to meet so many new people, but also reaffirm friendships that I've had for many years in the Eclipse community. And so I really encourage everybody if this is your first time, please don't be shy. The Eclipse community is very welcoming. There's, everybody here is very proud of the projects that they work on and what they're bringing to the industry and to the open source community. And so if you want to talk to somebody about what it is that they're doing and what technology they're building, this is your opportunity. And it's really the hallway track and the opportunity to meet and speak with people is the reason why we climb into airplanes or climb into trains and come to events like this. So, please take advantage of your opportunity to meet people and build those relationships. So, all that said, welcome and thank you. I want to call out a special thank you to our sponsors. It's important to understand that it is literally impossible for us to run an event like this without the support of our sponsors. So thank you very much to all the companies that stepped up to support our event here. Can I please have a round of applause for the sponsors? And of course, it's impossible to do an event like this without a very active and volunteer program committee. All of these folks spent many hours looking through the many proposals that we had. I think if my memory serves me correctly, we had a new record for the number of proposals. Obviously EclipseCon is an event that speakers really want to come and talk at, and we've had great fortune to have all of these folks. Torkild Reisheim is the program chair this year. He's also an elected member of the board of directors. He's a pillar of our community. And if you come to the closing session, we'll have sort of an additional introduction to the program committee. But once again, please a round of applause for the folks who did so much work for this. And again, we had the Project Quality Day. How did it go this morning? Good? It was this morning, right? Everybody look, it's tomorrow. Oh, okay, so the sign that I walked by at the FMZ was just like for tomorrow. Okay, never mind. But again, thanks so much for the folks that organized our Project Quality Day. This is something I've been doing for quite a few years now, and it's been a real success. If you haven't already, please download the conference app, and really want to shout out for Eclipse Source and their Tabriz framework for all the work they put in enabling the conference app. So if you don't already have it installed on your phone, please go to your favorite app store and get it downloaded. As you are here this week, please tweet about the talks and the event. The main handle is @EclipseCon. The hashtag is EclipseCon or EclipseCon19. So please share with the broader community what you're liking about the event, and let us know if there's something that we can do better to help you out. A special shout out this year to our Eclipse committers. So actually just wave your hand if you are an Eclipse committer on at least one project. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming. I really hope you enjoy the week. There is a special gift for you this year if you're an Eclipse committer, so please drop by the registration booth and pick up your little piece of Eclipse Foundation swag, and we really appreciate all the efforts that you put into supporting the Eclipse technology. And this is the 20th anniversary of the OSGI Alliance, who's our partners in organizing this event. And so a special welcome and thank you for those that are attending here for the OSGI community event. And just want to invite up Dan for a quick hello.
Well, I just want to thank Mike and his whole team for having us. This is our 7th year here. We haven't been here quite as long as EclipseCon has, but thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoy all the sessions, but we do have tracks for OSGI technology, so we'd love to see you there if that's your choice for the day. Thanks again for coming, and thank you, Mike.
Thank you. All right, so what's happening today? Besides this glorious keynote, of course, there's stuff happening all day. This evening at 17:35, there's a stamp dish. At 6:30, there's a Pitch Your Project event. And then at 7:30, there's a number of different choices that you have. If you want to go late into the evening, and so there's an edge computing mini hackathon, which I think is going to be really cool for folks who want to work on that stuff. Eclipse Night School, Birds of a Feather, and then the cloud native Java town hall, where I think I'm one of the guests and speakers. So I'm looking forward to that this evening. And then tomorrow, so bright and early, 8:15, we have our annual Eclipse members meeting. So if you're an Eclipse Foundation member, and by the way, if you are a committer, you are a member too, please drop by and learn more about what's going on in Eclipse. Yesterday at the board meeting, we approved a new version of the IP policy, which is going to actually have significant positive impact on our projects in terms of reducing the amount of workflow related to IP management, so we're pretty excited about that. And we also did some updates to our bylaws, and so we're going to have a chat about that as well. So these are pretty big things in the governance of our community, and so please take the opportunity to come and learn about them. From noon to 5:30, there's the IoT playground. Then in the evening, there's the exhibitors reception that translates to free beer and nibblies while you talk to exhibitors. So please come and enjoy. Then in the evening, we have an evening event, Magic Moments. So we'll give you an opportunity to be amused in the evening. And then in the evening, we have, once again, our game time. Is it foosball again this year, Ann? Yeah, foosball. Foosball and darts. All right, so you have sharp, pointy objects. And yeah, other ways to amuse yourself. In particular, if you are a speaker, and by the way, I might as well, since I'm doing this a lot today, wave if you're a speaker. Thank you so much. We obviously couldn't do it without you. On the other hand, now you have extra homework. So we are recording the talks, and we definitely would like everybody to take a few moments and go visit the talk preparation room near Seminar Room 1 over on the other side to make sure that your laptop is all ready to go to have your talk properly recorded when you're delivering it. The talks are going to be pushed out onto our YouTube channel. There's almost 16,000 subscribers, and so an opportunity to raise even more awareness for the talks that you do here. Again, my annual reminder that the Eclipse community does have a code of conduct, and the foundation does enforce the code of conduct. So when you're at EclipseCon Europe, please be nice to everybody. That goes without saying, but just your usual annual reminder. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. So please, when you go to a talk, take a moment and provide the speaker with some feedback. So in the conference app, there's a way to recognize or record your opinion of the talk, so please do that. And with that, I'm now going to switch to talking a little bit about the state of the union of the Eclipse community and the Eclipse Foundation. I think isn't the American tradition to start off with saying something, and the union is strong? Is that how it starts? Something, yeah. So things are doing quite well, but I just wanted to sort of give everybody an update on what's new and interesting from our perspective at the foundation. So the first piece of big news is we have 2 new strategic members. Huawei and Conduit just joined our board of directors as strategic developer members. So just as a reminder, a strategic developer member is somebody who leads a project at Eclipse and who puts in at least 8 developers into Eclipse projects. So in addition to monetary contributions that vary depending on the size of the company, strategic developer members are the members that are making big commitments to the Eclipse community in terms of contributions and resources to help move our technology forward. So the first one is Huawei. So Huawei has been very active in the broader open source ecosystem for many years. They're a platinum member at OpenStack. They're a platinum member in the Linux Foundation and a number of the Linux Foundation initiatives, including Cloud Native Computing Foundation and OpenNFV. So they've been very active within the broader open source community, and they've decided to join the Eclipse community at the strategic level as well. They've recently announced their intent to move a lot more open source code into the broader open source ecosystem. And I think this is a very exciting move by Huawei. And if you're interested in learning more, please go to Brian Che's session Thursday at 10:15 a.m. if you want to learn more about what these logos mean in terms of technology and what their plans are for contributing to the Eclipse Foundation. And in Conduit, for those who may remember, a couple of years ago, I was on stage right here talking about a project called Eclipse Deep Learning for J. And Conduit is the company that is continuing to support and move forward with Deep Learning for J. And this is they're joining the board to make sure that the interests of the emerging AI and machine learning community at the Eclipse Foundation is represented at the board of directors. So if you just humor me for a second, I'd like to invite Adam Gibson of Conduit and Brian Che of Huawei up to the stage for a handshake and an introduction so you can put a face to a name. How's that for a shameless photo op? Seriously, welcome and thank you both, Adam and Brian. Really appreciate the support. In terms of where we focus our energies at the Eclipse Foundation, we're at something around 375 projects at the Eclipse Foundation now, and of course, as the executive director, I love all of them equally. However, it's a simple fact of the matter, if you try to focus on 375 things, you focus on nothing. So where are we sort of focusing our energies at the Eclipse Foundation? and by the way, it does, if you don't fall into one of these neat categories, it doesn't mean we won't help you, it doesn't mean we don't like you, it just means that you're going to have to actually come and track us down and ask for help. But the four main areas that we're focusing our energies on these days is cloud-native Java, IoT and Edge, automotive, and tools. So those are the, when we think of, when we go and prioritize our days at the Eclipse Foundation, we're probably focusing on one of these areas. And in the topic of cloud-native Java, one thing that we're particularly proud of is that we just finally released Jakarta EE8. This is something that we've been working towards for almost 2 years, and it's a promise that was made back at Java 1 in 2017 when Oracle announced that they were moving Java EE to the Eclipse Foundation. And the Jakarta EE community actually won a Duke Award from Oracle back in at Code 1 a couple of weeks ago. So we delivered full compatibility with Java EE8 with a whole new set of open specifications under a much more liberal licensing regime than what was available under the JCP. We open sourced the TCKs and made those available. So now, when you want to interact with the Jakarta EE community, actually delivering additional tests to move the definition of quality forward is an option that's available to you. We came right out the gate with a number of compatible implementations, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And we have a fully transparent branding process and complete parity with Java EE8. And we're very happy and pleased that we already have 4 implementations which are completely compatible with the Jakarta EE8 specifications. So Eclipse Glassfish, Open Liberty, Payara Server, and Wildfly are all certified as Jakarta EE8 compatible. And that's definitely something that we're very pleased with. And we're very focused on recruiting new projects at Eclipse that are focused on cloud-native technologies. Jetty and Vertex have been at the Eclipse Foundation for quite a while. Eclipse Che is a very interesting new tooling platform that we'll talk about in a second, and of course Glassfish as well. Then on the developer tool side, the Eclipse IDE was the beginning of everything at the Eclipse Foundation. That's where we got our name. That's what created the foundation 15 years ago. And it continues to move forward now with quarterly release cycle, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then Che and Theia are 2 new, very cool and interesting tooling platforms that are based on modern web technologies that are also getting a lot of attention in the industry. And so the Eclipse IDE, the Eclipse Desktop IDE is, again, it's been around since 2001, so it's like 18, 19 years old. But it is used by millions of developers every year, and we're actually seeing something like 25% growth in downloads year over year, and largely because the team has been working extremely hard on making the Eclipse IDE even better than it was. So more language support, better performance, better proven extensibility. Now that Java is shipping every 6 months, the IDE team is keeping up with that, so we're much more current in terms of the Java platform releases, LSP, and then of course the quarterly release cycle. These are all things that are driving increased adoption of the IDE. And I want to have a special shout out to Sopit, who's been tirelessly supporting the recognition in the community of the Eclipse IDE through his Eclipse Java IDE Twitter feed. He's done a wonderful job raising awareness of all of the great capabilities of the Eclipse IDE. And I really, are you here, Sopit? Of course not. He's busy tweeting somewhere. But if you see him, please tell him that Mike did a shout out, and he's done a wonderful job on behalf of our community. And then moving forward, Eclipse Theia just got picked up and is now launched as the new IDE for the Arduino community. So the IDE, the Pro IDE for Arduino. For anybody who knows about IoT and the hobbyist and maker community, Arduino is a very big deal, and so we're really happy about that. And then Eclipse Che shipped Che 7 shipped last month, building a strong link with the Kubernetes community and providing tools for Kubernetes. And so that's been something that's gotten a lot of recognition and press just over the last couple of weeks. On the automotive side, it's too bad Ralph couldn't join us here. He's actually meeting with some automotive companies. You know, we've seen 3 new working groups start up in the automotive sector in the last couple of months. So Open Mobility, Open Genesis, and Open ADX are all recent and new additions to our portfolio of working groups. And they're mostly involved in and around the connected car ecosystem. So building out infrastructure for supporting connected cars. Open ADX in particular is about building tool chains for building autonomous driving systems, which is a very important challenge ahead for the automotive industry. So there's a lot of great stuff that is happening in that sector. And on IoT and Edge, so the IoT working group has just got a shiny new logo. So we're sort of changing the color scheme a little bit. We're refreshing the website. So it's you know, helping polish that a little bit more. The edge computing community at the Eclipse Foundation with IOFog and Fog OS as 2 projects are really starting to take off, and we're in the process of standing up an edge working group as well. Within the Eclipse IoT community, one of the, I think, exciting developments is this new packaging project that was proposed by Jens Reimann to put together Helm charts for some of the projects that really should be combined with one another to provide a better out-of-box experience. So we feel that this work in the packaging side of the Eclipse IoT projects is going to do a lot in terms of making it easier for new people to get started with Eclipse IoT technologies. So in introducing the IoT Packages project, it's really about the delivering Helm charts that pull together some of these building blocks, and that's going to be a much simpler way for developers to get started with this technology portfolio. So one of the other things that's quite exciting is we've had, how can I put this? There have been recent events in the world that have generated many questions to the Eclipse Foundation from both our members and our projects about could we host projects in Europe? I'll leave it to your imagination why people might ask that question. But so one of the things that we're experimenting with is standing up a GitLab infrastructure on servers physically located in Europe. So this is something that we hope to have up and running certainly by the first quarter of next year. We're going to have some prototypes running before the end of the year. But you know, hopefully by you know, say March or so, if you have a project and you'd like to have it try out GitLab as your forge of choice, that's something that we're going to be able to offer you. And with that, I hope I'm more or less on time. A few minutes early, but I always talk fast. So it's my great pleasure to introduce the actual keynote for today's session. And the talk is on Comprehensive Digital Twin, Enabler for Model-Based Systems Engineering by Jan Luridon, who is at Siemens PLM Software, but he's been an entrepreneur in the past. He's got his PhD from the University of Cincinnati, is that correct? Thank you. And did a startup that was basically a spin out of the University of Leuven that was acquired by Siemens. And has been a big part of their PLM tooling strategy. And without further ado, Jan, please come up and thank you so much.